Everyone, this is Lillian with Time to Sign, and I want to talk to you about setting boundaries and why it's so important to do that for our well-being, for our mental well-being, our physical well-being, and so much more. So the importance of setting boundaries is for creating healthy, fulfilling relationships and fostering personal growth and development. Boundaries are the limits and guidelines that we establish to protect our physical, emotional, and mental health, as well as honor our values, needs, and priorities. By setting clear and respectful boundaries, we communicate our limits and expectations to others, allowing for mutual respect, understanding, and harmony in our relationships. Without healthy boundaries, we may find ourselves feeling overwhelmed, resentful, or taken advantage of. So let's talk about the boundaries that we may have to establish for a healthy environment for ourselves. Time boundaries. Setting limits of how much time you dedicate to work, socializing, or other activities ensures that you have time for self-care and relaxation. A lot of times we get burned out really easily if we don't set healthy time boundaries. Emotional boundaries. Communicate emotional needs and limits to others and establish boundaries around how much emotional support or responsibility you're willing to take on. You know, this takes a lot out of us, especially if you're caring for young children, if you are having an elderly parent that needs a lot of care. So you got to limit yourself and give yourself grace and tell yourself, okay, I only have enough. I'm only dedicating this much time, and stick to it. Communication boundaries. Establish guidelines for how you prefer to communicate with others, such as certain channels or specific times, and assertively address any communication that violates those boundaries. Listen, there's a saying now that we were more free when telephones were on a line on our home and not wireless, right? Because right now people think that they can get a hold of us anytime, anywhere, and even in the bathroom nowadays. So one of the things that we need to do is establish those boundaries and give yourself time to do certain things without having to communicate with folks right away. Physical boundaries. Clearly communicate your comfort level with physical touch, personal space, and assertively enforce those boundaries when they are crossed. Yeah, you know, some people don't like to be touched, right? So it's okay to tell people, I'm not a hugger, I don't like that, whatever it is. Establish those boundaries. Financial boundaries. Set limits on how you share or spend money with others, and communicate your financial boundaries clearly to avoid misunderstanding or conflict. Social boundaries. Define your preferences for socializing, including the frequency and type of social activities you're comfortable participating in. And decline invitations you don't feel comfortable attending, and set limits when necessary. Work boundaries. Yeah, that's a big one. Communicate clearly the boundaries around work responsibilities and availability outside of work hours, and expectations for communication and collaboration with colleagues. Personal space boundaries. Communicate your need for personal space and privacy, and assertively enforce boundaries around who can enter your personal space and when. Technology boundaries. Set limits on the use of technology, such as turning off notifications during certain times, and establish boundaries around how and when others can contact you digitally. Self-care boundaries. Yes, you gotta take care of yourself. Prioritize self-care by setting boundaries around physical, emotional, and mental well-being, and assertively protect time and resources for activities that recharge and rejuvenate. And make sure you do things that bring you joy, right? The more you get joy out of things, the better it is for you, and the more energized you're going to feel. So I have a workshop coming up May 20th. from 7 to 9. So that's a great time to come join us for the Serenity Within. And if you can't join us, there's a complete training already pre-recorded with the book, with the resources. So sign up. And if you can't attend the live webinar, you could definitely go ahead and do the self learning, pre-recorded learning, and get the toolkit, the ebook and other resources online. And I will download the actual training on the one that we're doing on the 20th, so you'll get to see it anyway. So thank you so much. And again, this self-care is a must for us to feel good about ourselves and have really good growth and development. Bye-bye.